Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Dennis Zylstra and this is Getting in the Game. If you didn't know, we were going through from the last video trouble with replacing our rear skins after the wings were completely done. So if you're interested in what it took to get that done, stick around. Just a recap on what happened with these trailing edges skins is the other wing was perfect and this one just happened to be bent just a little bit wrong and it didn't line up with the flaperons quite right. So what we had to do was while the wing was completely done, sitting on the plane, we had to drill these completely out and prep the insides of the wing the best we could to get it so that we could receive these new skins. Oh, one thing I just thought of. The end isn't trimmed. So I won't be able to get this on unless I cut the end off. When I have to overlap something that's already got pre-existing holes, I just go down a size in Cleco and it works really good. That didn't work really good. I was so lucky that that didn't hit my other skin. Oh, man. I'm just going to use the same method I used before. I'm just going to scribe that a ton of times with a utility knife. One nice thing about this way is I'm going to use this end here. By the time I neaten up each end, I've got just a slight gap there. If I was to cut this with my bandsaw, and then neaten that up, there'd be a huge gap. And these holes are all pre-drilled because we're using pre-drilled technology. That's why probably some of you don't understand why I had such a hard time with these skins. It's because we don't get a skin and then put it up and have it, put it up to the plane and then measure it out and then drill holes in Cleco. There are some processes where things are like that, but not on these skins. They're all pre-drilled and Clecoed up. That's why this time, as you can see, we only received holes on the bottom, so I can line that up nice, and then I will pull this in and out, because it won't be much up here difference. And I'll pull it in and out until that bottom line matches up to the flaperon, and then I'll mark off my holes and drill them. See how we're getting. Yeah, we're getting there good. First one is the most important. You guys that do this know what I'm talking about. Once you get one started, it wants to follow that from there on out. So now I can start using quite a bit more pressure. All right, let's take that piece off and see. Of course, it's harder to get it to bend down here. It just takes patience. One nice thing is the little crates they come in, and the foam makes for a great place. Since my table's being used up by my airplane, great place to prep. Well, now it'll fit. I was a little more impatient with that cutting than I should have been. The very end, like when you do tin snips, it got a little bit of owie in there, but nothing I can't fix. So that'll be Clecoed up all the way along. And then as you can see, This is the distance that I'm going to. The other one, it was too low. There was too little here. So I'll be able to push that up. See how high you can make that. You can make it anywhere you want. You could put a bow in it if you wanted. Have one high, one low. So it's going to be quite a bit of little measuring done. Putting on the other flapperons, measuring that distance all the way across, squaring it up, and having at it. Well, I'm a half an hour past lunch. I know I'm wasting away, so I'm going to go in and do that a minute and then come back out and see what I can get done on this. Oop, that Cleco's got a bolt behind it. I wondered why I couldn't get it in very far, and then I look at the note under it. There's a bolt there. If you do have notes on your wing for bolts behind rivet holes, leave them there, because you never know. You might, until you have to take them off, you never know when you might have to drill something. I actually went back into some of my old videos and started looking at them before I started drilling. One nice thing of not being able to having not to have put this back on a table to get it straight is once the Clecos are in, it's all where it was anyway. So having it all pre-drilled ahead of time and having it all done made this all possible. I was thinking that I would have to take this thing off. I'm so glad Roger told me, no, not necessary. One more. Why didn't I have one more in my hand? Yeah, this is looking like more like the other side when I just take my glance at it. Wish I would have noticed that before. Of course, I said I have to go to lunch, but I just can't. I can't not do this to see how it fits. That's right on that where it's supposed to be. Right there. Now I'm going to clamp that one off. These short spring clamps have quite a bit of power behind them. Quite a bit of holding power. Okay, now that one isn't going anywhere. The titch below. Look at that. It's not compressed here yet. When you compress it, it just touches. That's what it's supposed to look like. And then not straight on the bottom. Right there. See that right there, that gap? Now I'll be able to get my 19 millimeters in there. I'm sure. That'll be the next thing I check. Now I'm gonna go grab a bite to eat, watch my favorite show, because I can. Retirement's great. Well, this is as far as I am. I did measure. I did end up drilling the top right through the holes in the top skin. It was the only way I could see to do it. And I went and measured with my calipers to get the absolute smallest drill of my number 20s. And it went really well, that half. And now I put this in. I made this simple little gauge. It's the same size as the pilot holes in here. And I just simply put that in and it's the end. So I went along and did that. And this one, this isn't even in yet. Let's see. This one's just slipped in the bottom. So as you can see, they're right on the money now. And I can get I put that one on probably 3 different times. And the best way to hold the top is with a piece of tape, I found. So anyway, that's been measured about 3 different times. And the flap round's been put on 3 different times. And that's been drilled. And now all I have to do is make sure this one stays, tape it up, and start. The nice part about starting this was that I didn't have to guess right or left or in or out for the length because these holes were all there in the skins. All I had to do is move this up and down, put my, I just made this according to the other side and put them in and tipped them up until that matched. and then checked it with the straight edge, and it's right where I want it. So great. And for those who don't think that this is hard work, riveting up over your head, up and down all day long, 200 and some rivets, and walking up and down that little 3-step ladder about 1,000,000 times, man, quite a good workout. I didn't get it on camera, but I had to take a break. It was a little on the scary side. When I was doing the inboard one, I had to take a break because I was stepping up on the ladder and it broke. This right here just pulled right out. And I didn't fall or anything, but it sure scared me good. So I had to take a break and go get out the TIG and TIG it up. It's not very good, but at least it'll hold. Probably just something else breaks. Okay, my biggest fear would have been if that center would have bent down some on the way there from just the gravity. But since we had it all drilled up ahead of time and my clearance drills were very clean, you can see that it didn't do that. I'll try to get the camera angle just right so that you can see that they're not bowed down at all in the center. If anything, here, I'll do it with my eye a minute. No, they're right on the money. So I'm really happy with that. Down there where the two joints come together and you cleco up their pre-drilled holes, makes a little bit of rise in this piece, and it's just like the other side. It has just a little bit of rise in that right where it connects. But the measurements come out good. All I got to do is now take it off, denib, make sure that the skins are as clean as I can get them, check for anywhere I can denib after that. I've got that little bit of curled up look right here, which I call reflex, and the other side looks just like it. And the other thing is, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but when I stand right in the middle like this in the front and get centered right on here with my eye, the corners of those stuck down totally different, and now they have that same gap on each side. I'll just move over. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it there, and then you can kind of see it here. But it was noticeably different before, so it looks right now after all the measuring, and I am so happy. Kind of bummed that I had to do it all, but I'm happy that I'm moving forward now. But as soon as I get this done and can put them back in the rack, the wings that is, then the tail, I'm going to go flat off of the top of the fuselage because that measures real good with the bar right and left, front and back. So I'm not going to be looking at the wings at all when I put the tail on. And yeah, that's it. I'll denib, prime, rivet, and finally get to the flaperons, which in the meantime, I did get all the counterweights put on, which are over there. And for those people that don't know, how you locate the hole that's underneath this skin that you can't see, it's in this piece here, and there's nothing here. I've already done them, so it's hard to see. They make a hole locator tool. It's got a little nub on there that fits down in the hole that's in the spar, and the sleeve above it lines up perfectly with it. So when you lift this up and go searching for the hole, you just put that on the skin like that, and you slide it back and forth until it snaps in underneath. And then when you push this down, make sure it's seated in that hole properly. You just drill down through and boom, you got it. And you take it apart. You wouldn't believe how good those holes line up. So that's how we got these three here. Maybe some of you remember that I wanted a access panel for the end bolt and hooking up the fuel lines and that. And some people just put it on the top only, which is a nice way to go. But I'm going with just riveting it completely on. But I was thinking I could use the old end cap and of course the holes in the top where we push this up. You can see the difference of the edge distance here, that this new one has been pushed up just slightly more, so to get that angle back there proper. So these couldn't be used. But one nice thing was I could rough cut this old one and just slap it up there and see how close I was and make final adjustments, and then trace that onto this one and make it much nicer. Better make a little note. Yeah, just about that much will take care of it, I think. Well, now that that's done, anybody that ever wants to know to do this, I got a video. I think I called it dog bone just because of the shape of the little piece in behind. That's over there. That's the dog bone. So a very simple way of getting at your stuff there on the end. You can go out another, if I had to do it over again, I would go over between the next two holes and make it just a little longer. But this enables a person to be able to put the wing up and have it completely riveted, so there's no chance of twisting. But now it's my opinion that those who leave those just clecoed are just fine, because I just undid this whole thing and it didn't move at all. Well, I'm happy to say I'm done. I even put this piece on to see if the end had changed very much. And the little bit of forward motion of this panel here didn't change it enough to really matter. The holes back here are gonna have to be re-glued up. I have to re-drill them because it did move that end, but at least it flexed enough to get into the rear skin, because these were completely done. Other than that, we're gonna get back onto the flaperons next. We finally got this. We got the end caps done. It's not riveted in. I mean, it's not clecoed in. It's just sitting there, but I'm happy with the way it fits. I was thinking about enlarging these holes here for access, but I remember then this is gonna be off and the top panel will not be riveted on. So I'll have plenty of access at the airport. It's just later down the road. If you ever did have to take that wing off, I don't know if you could do it through them, but I imagine you could. I'm gonna leave that for the next guy, because I probably will never take the wings off, but never say never. Oh, and one other thing, in case you were wondering, you can see where that little bulge is there. If I get the light just right here, there's a little bracket that goes in the back of the fuel tank to hold it forward so it doesn't slide back. And I did remember to stick that in.